Joined by UMass Boston head coach Brendan Eygabroat after the NCAA announced that the Beacons would be the #1 seed in New England. Coach, a little bit different than last year. A few more teams coming in from out of region. What are your initial thoughts on this very competitive-looking Harwich Regional?
Yeah, I mean, the regional looks strong. I thought last year's field was very strong as well. So I think anytime you get to this time of year, everyone's a championship team and a very capable team. So I think, you could look up and see any one of the 8 teams win the regional. I think we're in a good spot. We're playing great baseball right now. I think we're extremely well-rounded. Looking at some of the other teams, I feel like certain teams really have certain areas of strength, and I feel like we're pretty well-rounded in all 3 phases.
You've played 3 of the teams this year, and then Penn State Berks. You've seen each of the past 2 seasons. How does that help your scouting? Obviously, you guys are very focused on knowing everything you can about teams, maybe saving you a little bit of time in terms of preparation on doing some basic scouting.
Yeah, we've played Western New England twice. We played Oswego down in Florida. We played Suffolk a couple times this year and 3 times last year. So there's some familiarity with some of the teams, and Berks opening up with them. We've played them twice in the last 2 regionals. So again, I think it's always good to have some sort of idea of what those teams do well. It can help you with the pitching matchups. But when it really comes down to it, it's kind of controlling what you control and how you play. I think if we play our A game, we should have an opportunity to be successful against any one of the teams we play.
Pitching was the big focus throughout the LEC tournament, and even bigger focus in the NCAA regionals when you have 8 teams instead of 6. How much confidence do you have in your group after they allowed 3 runs in the first game and then just 2 the last 3 games?
Yeah, the starting pitching was really outstanding in the LEC tournament. I thought all 4 guys really might have pitched their best outing of the year. I thought Rogers with his 10 Ks against Dartmouth really pitched an outstanding game. JT was lights out against a very good USM offense. I thought Fernando did a really good job of keeping Eastern off balance, pitching to contact, doing all the things he does really well. And I was very happy to see how well Arruda pitched in a big championship game as a freshman. And I thought he did a really good job locating pitches and staying away from trouble and really following the scouting report to a T.
Penn State Berks, a matchup for the 3rd straight year, the first round matchup for a 2nd straight year, and obviously a team you guys aren't going to take lightly, especially Sean Pavlik back. You saw what he did 2 years ago, winning a game against the #1 seed. How do you get your guys in that focus, knowing that this is not an 8 seed to take lightly?
Yeah, we have a lot of respect for them. They've played us really tough the last 2 years. I think they've got 2 very good pitchers, so I don't know which one they'll go with. Both guys have been conference pitcher of the year in their conference the last 2 years. Pavlik spent last year at the big Penn State campus and then came back this year to Berks. And Comport is a guy we saw late last year out of the pen. He's a hard thrower. So we know we have to go in there and really compete and grind at bats and really do what we do well. We faced some really good pitching in the Little East tournament, so I feel like we're ready to face whoever they bring at us. They're a very gifted offensive club. They're batting .350 as a team, which is kind of eye-popping. Welk is someone who I think could end up being a pro hitter. He's really good. I was really impressed with him last year. He's a guy who is over 500, 13 home runs, 54 RBIs. So he's a guy who he can beat you in a lot of ways, and he's got some real pop in his stick. And they're a very aggressive offense. They do a lot of bunting, they do a lot of running, and they don't strike out. They're one of the few teams you'll face that has a positive walks to strikeout ratio. So it's a team that you're going to have to play defense. They're going to put the ball in play. They're going to be ultra aggressive. So we'll definitely need to bring our best effort on Thursday.
Finally, this is your 3rd straight trip to the regional final for you. Your 4th total trip. What have you picked up from the last couple that helps you in getting ready for the tournament, and also maybe gives you some different things to talk to the guys about heading into Harwich?
Yeah, I feel like we have a good routine. I think our preparation in terms of what we do with our pre-scouts and kind of our routine when we're at the regionals, we feel pretty confident and comfortable with. I think the guys now sort of expect to get the postseason now, which is a good feeling. I think they're definitely excited to be back down in the Cape because you can get a lot more fan support. It's closer to home, and the Cape's got a really fun vibe to it. So I think they're going to enjoy themselves down there once again this year.
Thanks so much for your time, Coach, and good luck this week.
All right, thank you, Seth.